All right. Happy Tuesday, everyone. Or if you're listening to this afterwards, happy Wednesday afternoon. Morning, I guess.
In
whatever.
Australia, it might be Wednesday.
Yeah, there you go. Our Australian fans, it's already Wednesday.
Yeah, like you said, we got to get those clocks on the wall.
We do. We need a clock for each subscriber.
Each subscriber.
Hopefully, we get to a point where we have no more room for clocks then.
Yes.
But yes, a slightly adjusted calendar for us this week. We had, although we were just chatting offline, you had significantly less snow than I did.
Yeah, it was weird. Like crossed like town and county lines. Like we got probably 8 to 10 inches. People on the mountain here, over by West Point, got like 12 to 16.
I was again, it was tough to tell with all the wind that we had. We had some snow drifts, but I would guess we were like 18 to 24 inches of snow.
We had a guy drive down from the mountains, and he's like, "Oh, I only got like 2 inches."
Yeah.
And we're like, "Oh, if you had to come into work."
For those of you that listened, I can't remember if we talked about it last week or Saturday, but we were due to have a couple of members of the Cosmos coming in actually this afternoon to do some interviews and content. New Jersey got even more snow than we did, so
like almost 2 feet.
They had to postpone, so we are hopefully going to get that back on track for next week with them. Really looking forward to having a chat with them before the season starts.
That'd be nice.
And honestly, it might be even a little bit better, although there was some breaking news in their league that I did want to talk about, which, will still be relevant next week. So
yeah, next week it seems like it'll be, it'll be fun. You got the Drew Classicer on Saturday.
Yes.
All right, and then we got Soccer Fan walks into a bar on Monday, and then we'll have the
And like we talked about on Saturday morning, we have many more ideas for content and shows, so we're really looking to round out what we have on offer for you.
I saw they released the World Cup schedule, so we know when the final is going to be. I think it was July 19th.
Oh yeah, that's been out. I don't know if they released like times and all that.
But I don't know. No.
The days itself has been out for a decent amount of time. So, all right, let's, I just want to preface today's show that we are not really going to talk much about last week's Champions League matches. I want to wait and do both legs in its entirety.
Yeah, makes sense.
So next Monday, weather permitting, we will cover both legs of this knockout.
I did see it was supposed to be 50 this weekend. Hopefully all that snow goes away.
And floods our yards and we get the soggy mess. But so that's that. Let's hop right into it. Match day 27. It does not fall within match day 27. So obviously we will chat about just very quickly, just going over Arsenal's 2-2 draw with Wolves. Again, Wolves, you and I talked about it last week. Wolves have always been like a bogey team for some of these teams. Arsenal being one. I know from firsthand experience, Everton, Wolves always gives Bournemouth a tough time. So again, you have all the looky-loos and all the the fair weather fans that are abandoning Arsenal. You obviously were not surprised by the result.
No.
You were very cagey, before the match. So that will set the tone for the weekend matches here, match day 27. We'll kick off with Aston Villa and Leeds United. Yes. A 1-1 draw thanks to a Tammy Abraham 88th minute goal to give Aston Villa the point. Again, I think that we're finally starting to see, when you're trying to fight on multiple fronts, that it's very difficult unless you are an Arsenal, a City, a Chelsea, a Liverpool, Man United. Even though they're not in Europe this year, you can put in that group just the bodies that they have.
Villa just has to be careful because they're sitting essentially like 6 points outside of Champions League. They're 6 points in Champions League.
Right.
You have Liverpool and Chelsea coming up their heels. Manchester United's only 3 points away. They got to be careful with their upcoming matches. They've got to play City on the last day of the league.
Yep.
With the way United's playing, you never know with Chelsea and Liverpool.
Right.
It could come down to a last day and win it in.
Yeah. Realistically, I think The Europa League is probably this is going to sound like they're not deserving of it, but Europa League I feel like is maybe a more appropriate competition for them. Obviously, we talked last week about Unai Emery, and he is an absolute wizard when it comes to that competition.
Yeah.
But they could also fall off and win Europa League this year, which is not an unlikely event, and then they're back in Champions League anyway. So, but yeah. So on the flip side of things, Leeds United just keeps on rolling. They are now, 6 points above the drop.
Correct. They've been playing good football. They've been playing well, whether it's been home or away. The issue, though, is that they got to keep the momentum going and not fall back into the relegation fight, essentially. They play City next at home. So it's going to be a little dicey there. They need that win to stay well above and to keep that track going.
They are still in the FA Cup as well.
Correct. Yeah. So, but again, they have the win against Forest, the tie to Chelsea, the tie to Villa. So they've tied top 5 teams. I hope they keep, obviously for Arsenal's sake, I hope they keep the momentum going, especially with City at home next week.
Yeah, for sure. All right, let's move on. One of the other morning matches we had Saturday, we actually had this one live in the tap room. Brentford hosting Brighton & Hove Albion and our Seagulls on Hudson. The result was Brentford 0, Brighton & Hove Albion 2. First half goals from Diego Gomez and Danny Welbeck. And the pressure was certainly mounting on Fabian Hürzeler. I'm not saying the pressure is gone from him, but for the first time in what seems like months, there was a certain verve behind Brighton playing, and they looked good. They were attacking. They were having fun doing it.
It also just goes to show you how tough this Premier League has been, considering Brentford 2 games ago was tying Arsenal.
Right.
They're sitting in 7th. They're fighting for European spots. And Brighton just comes in. They need that U-turn, and they went and got it.
Yeah. Brentford's 7th place. A win there would have kept them right on pace with Chelsea and Liverpool.
Yep.
And the result just didn't happen for them. Brighton absolutely dominated them, and like I said, they looked good doing it as well. All right, Chelsea hosting Burnley. Chelsea under Rossignol, outside of a couple games against Arsenal, have been unbeaten. A 4th-minute goal from João Pedro. Things look to be going that way once again. Wesley Fofana with a 72nd minute red card does come back to bite them. And Zion Fleming in the 93rd minute levels things 1-1. So a good, well, let's not say good, a great away point for Burnley. If they have any chance at getting out of that relegation zone, this might be one of those matches.
There's 11 games left. There's 6 points behind. Anything can happen. Again, it just goes to show you this Premier League. You had the essentially the relegation teams are still fighting, despite being where they are.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think Chelsea obviously will rue this and feel as though it's 2 points lost instead of a point gained. They did have a chance to kind of get back into the top 4 there. They now sit level with Liverpool, joint 5th. We obviously, nothing is guaranteed, but we do anticipate that the Premier League will have 5 Champions League places next season. So realistically, that 5th spot is a Champions League place. West Ham and Bournemouth, a scoreless draw as West Ham again continue to mount up points and put the pressure on the teams in 16th and 17th place. They are now only 2 points back of the drop of safety.
I mean, essentially 4 points back of full safety. It's just crazy. It's going to come down to the last game. It's going to come down. It's just
and just as a fun fact, so obviously Bournemouth remain unbeaten since their loss to Arsenal. I think was January 3rd. So it's definitely I think they were the better team in waves. West Ham obviously had some chances as well. But again, an away point in London for Bournemouth. They continue to be hot. They're in 8th place right now. They are knocking on the door of Europe. It's right there for them if they can finish the year as strong as they're playing right now.
Like you did say, with Chelsea, I do think Bournemouth, if they could have grabbed that 2 points,
yes, absolutely,
that would have then catapulted them 5 points out of Champions.
So, fun fact: this is Andoni Iraola's 3rd season at the helm of Bournemouth. He has never had anything but a draw against West Ham.
Yeah.
6 consecutive draws against West Ham in the 3 seasons that he's been in charge.
Well, no. Didn't you guys beat? No, that's right. The X goal where you guys had 5 XG.
It was 2-2.
And they came back. Yeah, that's what it was. They came back to win it.
That was a 2-2 draw.
Yep.
It was Areola played out of his mind that match. So 6 consecutive draws against West Ham.
Yep.
Moving around into Manchester, City hosting Newcastle United, a 2-1 victory. Both goals from Nico O'Reilly, sandwiched between a Lewis Hall goal in the 22nd minute. So all the action in the first half as City aim to keep the pressure on Arsenal.
Yeah. Again, you got to feel for United. You could tell they're sick of playing City.
Wow.
That's the 5th time. A possibility of facing them in. What was it? They still got to play them in the FA Cup coming up. Yeah.
And there's always a chance in Champions League as well.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's while we're up in the northern section, let's move on to Nottingham Forest. They hosted Liverpool, and for a squad that has had tons of chaos this season, a little bit more piled on. Alexis McAllister in the 97th minute.
Yeah.
And Forest are now, we mentioned that West Ham are only 2 points out of safety. Those 2 points separate West Ham and Nottingham Forest. And
was it this game or the City game where they had where a player got called offside for being pushed offside? I think it was. Never mind. I think it was a City.
I think it was a City.
I was about to say, because I know Nottingham Forest has had some bad luck in this game. I think they had a goal called back as well as the goal in the 97th.
Yeah, it's again, I'm not here to place blame or play favorites anywhere, but we said it kind of offline a little bit. In my mind, in a vacuum. No squad, no club that fires 3 managers and is on their 4th manager deserves to stay up. I just
listen. I'll play favorites. Then. I would rather see Forest and West Ham stay up and Tottenham go down.
Well,
I would 100% rather see that. And the only way that's going to happen is if Forest wins their games, right? Because if West Ham wins their games and Forest doesn't, Forest is going to take the 18th spot. And as we all know, 17th does not get relegated.
Right.
So one would only hope that Forest can somehow turn it around with the new manager. Again, they played Liverpool, kind of rough for their first manager back. Again, I also don't like Marinakis as well. But I prefer I hate Tottenham more than I hate Marinakis.
Well, speaking of new managers with struggles in their first matches, let's move on to the aforementioned Tottenham. Tottenham hosting Arsenal in a North London derby. Igor Tudor's first match in charge. And boy, did they let him have it. 4-1 Arsenal, although I will say the match felt a little bit closer than the scoreline would indicate.
In the first half, yes.
Yeah. Both teams had chances. Obviously, there was a Spurs goal that was called back due to a foul. Actually, let me put it this way. The foul was called before the goal was even scored, so there really wasn't even an opportunity for VAR. I would like to get your opinion as an Arsenal fan on that. But yeah, so 2 goals from Eze, 2 goals from Gyökeres. Randall Cole Muani did score in the first half for Spurs, but Arsenal piled the misery on their North London rivals. And my gut tells me they're safe, but realistically, they're not safe right now. They're only 4 points above the drop. They do need to start thinking about just staying up. This is the second season in a row.
The funny thing is they still have games against Forest and West Ham, I think, if I remember correctly.
Let me check right now.
Yeah, they still have games against relegation teams.
I can't believe we're talking about Tottenham in 6-pointers here. They play Palace, who I believe is 3 spots above them now.
They still have to play Forest.
Yep. They have Forest on. Let's go.
Yeah, they still have Wolves and
So they have Forest on March 22nd.
Yeah, they have Leeds, which is a little bit above them.
Yep, and you have Wolves on April 25th.
Yep.
So and
but still Villa, Liverpool, and Chelsea.
Yeah.
So
and I mean Everton's where's Everton?
Ninth.
Yeah. So I mean those are pretty tough fixtures that they have left. If they have the players and the skill set to
well, that's the
stay
issue.
Safe.
Well, that's the issue. Most of their top players are injured.
Yeah.
They've got almost an entire starting roster on injuries.
Yeah, you know what? I again, woo, my microphone cord is not cooperating. There we go. I'm on record. Whether it's Bournemouth, whether it's Arsenal, we've talked about it. Like I don't care about injuries.
No.
Not to sound crass. Every team at some point in the season has dealt with them to their detriment. My argument always is that a better team, a deeper team like Tottenham have, at least are more equipped to handle those injuries. So I'm not subscribing to that. I don't care. Again, as terrible as that makes me sound, you deal with it, you move on. If they were so damaged by injuries, they would have done a better job in the winter transfer window to make something happen. So, that's that. That's my piece on them. The Monday match, Everton hosting a red-hot Manchester United. Everton 0, Manchester United 1. Benjamin Sesko is starting to come alive again. I mean, this has been, I think, 2 or 3 matches in a row now that he's scoring goals.
I mean, yes and no. Like you got like if you're giving credit to Sesko, you have to give credit to Gyökeres.
Oh, I know, and I should. I mean, we didn't. Yeah. We to be fair, we with the North London Derby, we talked more about the failures of Spurs there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I absolutely 100%. We did talk about it a little bit. Was it after the match day 8 champions? I can't remember. It was a couple weeks ago we talked about it, and I said,
you're talking about a team who brought on 3 attackers in the offseason. They brought on Cunha, they brought in Mbeumo, and Sesko. So you want to see them performing at what they're supposed to be, and Sesko is performing at this point. Yeah. But the question is, where's everybody else?
Yeah, I mean,
as you're seeing with City and Holland, like you can't put it all on one player's shoulders.
Absolutely, yeah. Obviously under Michael Carrick, they all seem to be kind of pulling the cart in the same direction at least. Correct me if I'm wrong. I obviously they didn't win the 5 in a row to change United's strand and get him a haircut, but I do believe they're unbeaten still under Michael Carrick.
Yes.
And they are in 4th place in the Champions League spots proper right now.
Yep.
3 points ahead of Chelsea and Liverpool for
8 points out of Diego's coveted 2nd place.
I know. I can't believe that we actually have to start talking about that as a reality. Good for Diego on his brazen prediction. But yeah, that's an incredible spot for them to be in. I will say, although the playing style and interactions with upper management were nowhere near what you would like, it's not like they were in the bottom of the table under Amorim. So I do think that is a big piece that Carrick is fulfilling, is just kind of letting everything go the way it should go. Obviously he knows that United DNA and I've not heard one word from him about, obviously he's still an interim manager. So for him to be spouting off about, the front office, it's probably not, in his wheelhouse anyway. But yeah, to see Carrick, to see Man United playing well, I even though I'm not a United guy, I think the league is in a better place when you have that marketable squad like Man United, back in the top. Let's call it the top half of the table, because they finished 16th, 17th place last year.
Yeah.
So from that standpoint, very good to see. And this is a good Everton squad as well. Top half team. Under David Moyes, they are doing well. So, this is a good spot for United to be in. I think they're finally comfortable and starting to rebuild, the identity that they've really not had, a little bit under Solskjaer maybe, but really nothing since Ferguson of a true identity for the Red Devils. What do you think?
Yeah, no, I agree. I feel like Everton will probably rue not getting more into the game.
Yeah.
They had great chances, but I don't know if you saw the discussion afterwards. Everton's manager gave credit to United's goalkeeper. He was on fire the whole time. So.
I did not watch the game. Like I said, I was busy snowblowing, for what seemed like days. So I did miss that one. But yeah, so let's that's a great spot for us to take a quick break. We'll get back to 100 Miles to Home and what's on tap. All right, so stick around and we'll see you in a minute. All right, welcome back to A Soccer Fan Walks Into a Bar. I'm Dave. I have Naz right here beside me. Diego did have some things that he needed to tend to on a random Tuesday, so it is just the two of us today. 100 Miles to Home, our coverage of all local professional soccer. We had opening weekend of the MLS, plenty of action. Let's take it down to Florida. Orlando City hosting New York Red Bulls.
Yes.
And Red Bulls come away with a 2-1 victory, a pair of goals from 17-year-old Julian Hall in the first half, a very late Thiago goal to bring things to 2-1. But Michael Bradley, U.S. men's national team legend, wins his debut match with the club. New York Red Bulls become the first team in MLS history to start 3 players all age 17 or younger, which is one. It's an absolutely wild stat.
Yeah, they had school the next day.
And on top of that, to see how successful they were with that youth, such a cool thing to see. Obviously, I am an NYCFC season ticket holder, but obviously I just want to support good local ball anyway. Michael Bradley, who last season was the Red Bull 2 coach, obviously probably knows a lot of these guys through that system, through the academy, and there's a lot to be said for already knowing and trusting those younger players and letting them, ride it out. Do I think that this will be a sign of things to come? Probably not. With youth, you have a ton of unpredictability, and I think they will take their lumps here and there, but I think long term the club will be better for it. So
yeah, I mean, it's just something that you hope, again, New York sports is better when both teams are playing well.
Yeah, without a doubt.
I'll always speak to the fact that I wish they were on opposite sides and not on the same league, so that you could get a possibility of a New York.
That's one of the things I love about baseball is obviously nothing to do with the actual sport itself, but just the structure of the leagues and the divisions
and the capability of having two teams from the same state in the final.
I would love to see it. Picture and we've talked about this. One of our MLS rants over back in the fall. Picture a New York versus New York MLS Cup final, or Portland Seattle, or LAFC against LA Galaxy. Even after recent years and their
now you got Orlando, Miami.
Even
there's a lot of places.
Even New York against Philadelphia would be amazing. But the fact that you and again, I know
it's all about structure.
And I know the geography of the U.S. is just,
again. I think the MLB is also looking, or was it might be either. I think either the NFL or the MLB is also looking to restructure soon.
It's Major League Baseball. They are looking at that. But
so I'm pretty sure we're going to see the days of crosstown championships not being able to happen. Instead, we're going to start seeing conference championships.
Which, it is what it is. It's a sign of things to come. But, all right, elsewhere, New York City went out west to LA Galaxy, and the new home of New York City former defender Justin Hack. A second-minute goal from João Close from an incredible assist from Marco Reus. Really kicked things off. But despite that early goal, NYCFC handled, this match pretty well. It was a Nico Fernandez Mercado penalty in the 66th minute. After VAR review, the play was not called a foul initially, and the result of that foul also was a red card as a denial of a goal-scoring opportunity. New York City was unable to take that man advantage and get a second goal. So things remained level at 1-1. Considering all the, how poorly LA Galaxy was played last year, I do think this is, it's a good result out on the West Coast.
Yes.
You're playing in your first match of the season. Obviously, everyone wants to get 3 points and kick off things well, but to get that 1 point and get a goal and overcome the adversity of conceding that early goal, I think does go a long way. Elsewhere, actually, no, that's it for our local stuff. Gotham, did Gotham no, right? I'm trying to think now. All right, let me double check that. I know Brooklyn was off this week, and no, Gotham doesn't kick off until March 14th. I didn't think so, and then I just had a mini panic attack on live on stream that I forgot them. Both teams will be back in action next month. On the women's side, obviously we have season openers for Westchester, Hudson Valley, and Cosmos, all coming up soon. So our 100 Miles to Home segment ought to be fleshed out much larger in the coming weeks. Let's head right over to what's on tap. We are actually currently, there is Champions League matches on right now. Tomorrow we will be opening early, 12:45 p.m. Atalanta plays Borussia Dortmund, and then the 3 o'clock window, it is Real Madrid against Benfica here in the tap room, as well as Juventus Galatasaray, and the French matchup of PSG and Monaco that had plenty of fireworks last week, with Flo Balogun scoring twice, the American. So, by the way, Johnny Cardoso scored for Atleti today, so lots of Americans getting in the action. Elsewhere on Saturday, Bournemouth has a 7:30 kickoff, so we will be commenting on it live during the pour-over, but we will not be opening early for that match. Brighton then plays host to Nottingham Forest. Brighton will look to continue punishing Marinakis and company. And then at 12:30, we have a kind of a double header of sorts. We will put Leeds United on against Manchester City, probably on one of the peripheral TVs, because we have Der Klassiker, Borussia Dortmund, hosting Bayern Munich at Signal Iduna Park. We have scarves. We have, let me go grab some of our fun merch that we've got.
Yes, I will entertain chat as you are doing that. What am I supposed to do with my hands? No, it'll be an exciting time. Do we have confirmation on some people coming or?
No.
Just...
Hudson Valley Borussia will be here.
Awesome.
I will be here. I'm looking forward to it. No, we were working on some stuff with Borussia Dortmund itself, but they will actually be out in California.
Okay.
For the event.
I will. I just gotta check with Deanna, but I should be there hopefully.
So we have some very nice. Would you mind holding on to that end for me? We have some very nice.
Just a Vanna White.
Borussia Dortmund scarves with the German flag colors there, and for some of the kids or small-headed adults like myself.
It did not fit on my large head.
We do have some nice black and yellow Borussia Dortmund hats. So, as well as maybe some other giveaways too. We're
gonna have the black and yellow song playing 24/7.
No, we'll get DMCA'd. But yeah, so there. If you follow our Instagram, you've already seen it. If you don't follow our Instagram, get your ass on Instagram and follow us, CDU Newburgh.
Yeah.
But we will be. You know what? Should I release it today?
I think I'm gonna order my jersey this.
Oh yes. We gotta get that going too. But we are going to. I have a Borussia Dortmund home jersey.
Yes.
That I will be raffling off. We will do it in conjunction with Hudson Valley Borussia. So it'll be your standard kind of Instagram raffle. Follow us, follow them,
follow, subscribe,
tag a friend, and you will be entered in the drawing. I think we'll just do it at halftime of the match.
Yeah,
I think that'll be a good spot to do it. So let me go grab that jersey as well.
Yes, I will once again entertain chat.
We don't pay you enough for all this.
No. You guys are getting paid? No, I was joking. I said you guys are getting paid. Yes.
All right, I'm back. Get my ears back in.
I wanted to make sure I wasn't sitting on the jersey.
So yes, BVB Americas, or now that I've learned it's BVB, have given us an incredible home kit.
Yes, they've given us the Vodafone home kit.
So this is a men's large. If anyone is only going to enter based on the sizing.
Listen, you can always win it and frame it.
And for logistic reasons, you must have a U.S. address. I'm not shipping this thing internationally. Plus, they probably have to. Although no, it's free, so they wouldn't have to pay tariffs on it. But.
But yeah, I mean, even if you're not a large, again, I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan of framing jerseys.
Yes.
You know, so at least you have them up on the wall.
Yep. So this one will be raffled off on Saturday.
Yep.
Look out for our posts on Instagram at CDU Newburgh for the details on entering. And I'm really looking forward to getting that moving for everyone. Elsewhere, if you're on Instagram, you've seen all our posts lately. Our online store.
Yes.
Will be closing up on the 27th. So Friday the 27th will be your last opportunity to get the CDU Newburgh jersey, t-shirt, or hat. I am already kind of looking at... Why am I so loud? I'm redlining there.
Why are you yelling?
Why? Haven't even had a beer yet. I am already kind of thinking and brainstorming of the next kit we want to do, maybe for the summer or fall. But your opportunity to get the current home kit... actually, grab me that bag. Whoa, careful. So we have, if you're listening, you're not gonna get the full aura of this jersey. But if you are watching this on YouTube or Twitch, you will see our inaugural streets kit.
Yes, that is the map of Newburgh.
An old wooden ship. No, an old map of the city of Newburgh. You have the opportunity to put your own name and number on the back, yes, and the embroidered CDU Newburgh patch, yes, right there as well. So
Newburgh, the city in which hailed it had a nickname, was the sixth borough for a bit.
Yes, which I've never bought into, but
nobody has.
All right. Anyway, let's get back to the week ahead and what's on tap. So after Der Klassiker, we roll into Sunday. We have Arsenal Chelsea, another London derby, and what should have been our second watch party for Third Rail Hudson Valley, but obviously weather precluded us from showing last Sundays. We will have NYCFC traveling to Philadelphia Union Sunday afternoon at 4:30. We will stay open through the entirety of that match. So if you're thinking of coming but aren't sure because of our normal closing time, we will be staying open through that match. So that's that for there. One for the road, Naz. Do you have anything for us?
Yes, as always, I like to follow the Greek Soccer Cup.
Our local
on behalf
Greek
of
update.
my family.
I need like a Greek flag, overlay.
and then like playing the bouzouki in the background as the flag's going. So thanks to an AEK 4-0 win against I can't even pronounce Levadiakos. I can't even. And then a tie and a loss with the game in hand for Olympiacos now puts AEK 2 points over Olympiacos with only 3 matches remaining in the main portion of the season.
Wow.
Yes.
And then we have
AEK hoping to be first place going into the round robin playoff against the top 6.
And then we have that Swiss style, whatever you make of it.
Panathinaikos has been fighting, looking to at least make it into that top 6. I think they're right on Levadiakos.
And now we talked about this a bit last week. You keep the points you have, though.
Correct. You keep the points, and then you play another 10 games against the 5.
So there is, one might say, well, okay, why is AEK still trying as hard as they are? Because they're already guaranteed to be in that. But so if you amass a 10-point lead
you go in there with the 10-point
lead. 10-point lead. So.
Oh yes.
Yeah, I just wanted to make sure everyone else was clear on that. My one for the road. I'm going to take things back to the MLS here now that we've kicked off the season. LAFC hosting Inter Miami in their season opener. Was really kind of the curtain raiser for the whole league, with defending champions Inter Miami and Leo Messi and crew against Denny Bouanga and Son Heung-min. This match was not at LAFC's normal stadium. It was at the LA Memorial Coliseum, and not only did LAFC dominate Miami to a 3-0 win, but the people showed up in droves. This was the second highest crowd in MLS history, second only to LAFC and LA Galaxy at the Rose Bowl. Yep. El Tráfico, as they call it.
It was. It's pretty crazy because I was just talking with a coworker of mine who's like he's been into baseball forever. Yeah. Son plays baseball and stuff like that, and he just wouldn't believe it when I told him that soccer has overtaken, at least for right now.
Yeah.
You know, with the hype of the World Cup and everything that's going on, soccer has overtaken baseball as the third most popular sport in the United States.
Yep. So this match was played in front of 75,673 spectators. Like I said, that is the second highest crowd in MLS history, second only to El Tráfico, the highest season opener in league history. So between...
I mean, that's a lot. Like, considering a lot of, like, English... Premier League teams only get like 60,000, 50,000 max stadiums, like 75,000. That's a lot of people considering it for an MLS game.
Right. A big product of that is just using a stadium that's big enough to hold that many people.
Well, obviously, and with Inter Miami having Messi.
Right. And then all that. Yeah. So I do think those are factors. Is this a standard, procedure for LAFC moving forward? Absolutely not.
We would hope that it eventually gets to that big, but I mean, obviously right now, no.
Yeah. I think, realistically, the
MLS is still the MLS.
It's still the MLS. Part of it is, the part of what brings all the fans to NFL stadiums and the sellouts are the fact that there's only 8 home games a year. So that's a factor. Obviously, soccer is it's at this point not as popular as the NFL. Mm-hmm. So you have that aspect.
In the US.
Yeah. So that's it for my stuff. Diego did have a one for the road, so I would be remiss if I didn't at least mention it. And my Seagulls on Hudson crew will be thrilled with this as well.
Something on Matoma?
No. James Milner has broken Gareth Barry's record for most Premier League appearances in history.
I feel like it needs an asterisk.
Why?
Because, yes, as much as you get an appearance for walking onto the field, coming on in the 90th plus minute, for a lot of those, just doesn't feel like it should be counted.
Yeah,
it should be played. A couple minutes played.
There's still some incredible stats that
correct, like
follow this.
The stats of like him playing or having played with 50% of the players that played in the Premier League. Yes, it's still an incredible feat when you think about it, but the feat itself should at least come with some sort of caveat that, like, even though he did appear several times, not all of them were to officially play in the match.
I see where you're coming from, but I'm not subscribing to it because some of these guys come on in the 85th, 88th, 90th minute and score a goal. So should those goals not count?
I mean, yes, okay, but they still get, if you come on the 80th and the 88th minute and you score a goal, that's cool. But has he done that?
Maybe. I don't know.
He towards
he's also not an attacking player. So,
correct.
How many times has he done that and made a game-saving tackle?
Correct. But at this point, it just feels like it was more of a stretch to get appearances than it was to actually get playing time.
No, I don't think. I don't know. His role in a club has certainly diminished in his older age. There's no hiding that. He's not a 90-minute player. But, look at something. He's played in 24 consecutive seasons. Mm-hmm. He made his debut in 2002.
Mm-hmm. Listen. Again, I'm not hitting on the longevity. I'm hitting on the last part of his career being more that it feels like he was trying to reach that goal rather than just play in the Premier League.
Yeah, I I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
I
felt like he was fighting for that accomplishment rather than actually playing for the team he's playing for.
I personally don't think that's the case. Just a side note, my favorite stat about James Milner is he holds the record, or he's the second youngest player to score in Premier League history, and also the second oldest player to score in Premier League history. He's won titles he won the league twice, I believe, with Liverpool. Right? I'm sorry.
Man City and
twice
Liverpool.
with Man City, once with Liverpool.
Yep.
He won the Champions League with Liverpool. Longest duration between first and last Premier League goals, 22 years and 248 days between his first and most recent Premier League goal.
Correct. Like I said, I'm not hitting on the longevity. I'm just hitting on how he got there in the end.
Yeah, you could say that about a lot of these guys. I'm sure Gareth Barry.
Brett Favre, right? Brett Favre, all the NFL players that prolong their career and didn't do anything with the end of the career. And it's like, how many times are you taking the spot from somebody that could have? Yeah. Like, don't get me wrong, playing in the Premier League is pretty rough. However, I do feel like if he had done it, I feel like it shouldn't have been 90-minute appearances.
Yeah, I mean, but then you would have to make that across the board, and then realistically, goalkeepers would be the only ones with those stats.
That's true.
Either way, at any note, thank you guys for listening. Obviously, a shorter week this week with the weather and the weird Tuesday episode, but we wanted to come back for you and make the show happen. I do want to remind you again, Der Klassiker this weekend. Look out for Instagram probably this evening for the sweepstakes to win a jersey. Make sure you get into the CDU Newburgh shop. That is www.cdunewburgh.com. The shop will redirect you right from there. That store closes on Friday. And give us a like, share, and subscribe on YouTube and Twitch. Follow us on Instagram. Find our Discord for plenty of good chat. We will also be helping out our friends at Third Rail Hudson Valley for NYCFC. We'll be making them a group-specific chat as well in the channels there. And we will see you either tomorrow here in the tap room for the Champions League watch parties, or Saturday morning on the pour over, or hopefully Saturday for Der Klassiker. So
correct.
Thank you guys again. Cheers, and we'll see you soon.